Hi, I'm Rasika Dugal,
And I'm Mukul Chadda.
and you're watching us on Filmibeat.
फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ वो जो कल हार्ट बना नहीं वो ट्राई करना है बनेगा आज
I think
आपने जो धक्का मारा बहुत 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 बुरी तरीके से धक्का मारा मुकुल को कल
नहीं हम सब एक्टर है वो जो ऐसे हल्का सा कर रहे थे
मुझे तो कभी बॉक्स ऑफिस प्रेशर फील नहीं हुआ. Otherwise, I wouldn't have made the choices that I've made in my career. I feel as an actor, my nervousness is reserved for the time that I'm shooting or preparing.
I remember this question I got a lot जब मैंने ऑफिस का रोल किया.
Yeah.
And a lot of people said, how did you have the guts to do something getting into Steve Carell's shoes? और honestly मैंने उसके बारे में सोचा भी नहीं.
3.5 साल हो गए वेट करते करते मेरे बाल भी सफेद होने आए अब तो बता दो कब आ रहा है मिर्जापुर सीजन 3
Yes,
जिससे बात करो लेकिन नहीं ये साल तो पक्का आ जाएगा ये साल तो पक्का आ जाएगा
ये लेकिन इस साल पक्का आ रहा है.
अच्छा,
ये तो-
okay.
ये तो मुझे भी पता है, ये Amazon वालों ने भी कहा है.
हाय गाइस वेलकम टू फिल्मी बातें विद फिल्मी बीट. दिस इज मुर्तजा इकबाल और आज मेरे साथ 2 ऐसे एक्टर्स हैं जिनके टैलेंट की मैं बात करूँ ना तो लाइक they have given some wonderful performances in the past and I think अब उनकी आने वाली फिल्म के लिए I'm very excited and I'm talking about none other than Rasika and Mukul who are here with us today and they're going to be seen in a movie called Fairy Folk. Hi guys, welcome to Filmibeat.
Thank you so much.
First of all मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ वो जो कल हार्ट बना नहीं वो ट्राई करना है बनेगा आज.
I think
आपने जो धक्का मारा बहुत 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 बुरी तरीके से धक्का मारा मुकुल को कल
नहीं हम सब एक्टर है वो जो ऐसे हल्का सा कर रहे थे लेकिन कितना टाइम है आपके पास अगर टाइम नहीं है बहुत टाइम लगेगा.
but really lovely funny reel on a Valentine Day. Yeah.
thank you.
I have to talk about Fairy Folk. तो मैं सबसे पहले तो ये कहना चाहता हूँ मैंने ट्रेलर देखा मैंने बहुत कोशिश की समझने की कि क्या हो रहा है. कोई आपको बस खाना खिलाते जा रहा है आप लोग बातें करते जा रहे हो. I want to understand what exactly the basic concept of this movie is.
Well, it's about a couple who lives in Bombay, and like any other, they are so busy in their lives that they sometimes forget to pay attention to their own relationship. And one day, a very fantastical being in a woodland creature comes out, and they are forced to then examine their own relationship. That's the basic storyline, I would say. Lekin it is a lot about love, relationships, marriage, control, gender identities. एंड ये इन सब बातों के बारे में बहुत इंटरेस्टिंगली बात करती है ये फिल्म. जिससे आपको कहीं भी नहीं लगेगा कि ये कोई बहुत सीरियस फिल्म देख रहे हैं आप. डायलॉग्स बहुत मज़ेदार है, बहुत कॉमेडी है, ह्यूमर है और क्योंकि ये इम्प्रोवाइज्ड थी एक डायलॉग्स में एक मज़ा है और एक बैंटर है. सो आई थिंक दैट the audiences will relate to that. So what you saw was one piece of
Just
banter.
glimpse, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you know, but this film, like she alluded to, is an improvised film. So while Karan had written out, the structure of the screenplay, there were, 80 odd scenes.
Yeah.
But he didn't, on purpose, he didn't write out the dialogues in any scene. In any scene, there was only about a 3-4 line description of roughly what happens in the scene. And he left it entirely to the actors as to how they want to approach it. What dialogues they would say to make it more natural.
Yeah.
How they moved in the space. We had so much freedom to move in the space, as we wanted. And we would do long takes. I mean, least shortest take must have been 7-8 minutes. Longest take might have been 25 minutes. And, then it's up to him to edit it and bring it down. So it's very unusual. Not only in storytelling, like she's talking about, you have this mystical creature that comes into a very real world and how it affects their lives. But also in this style of filmmaking, that it's improvised in this way.
Yeah, and I have to say that Karan allowed us a lot of freedom. When many directors start off के पहले बोलते हैं कि improvise film करेंगे, लेकिन कहीं उनका वो control का कीड़ा आ जाता है और बोलते हैं नहीं इसको ऐसे कर दो. But he never did that to us, and he actually gave us that freedom. And I have to say the technical team did a fantastic job because we had not decided कि हम कहाँ जाने वाले हैं और कहीं मोटा हमने डिसाइड किया था कि फ्रेम का दायरा इतना होगा, लेकिन not really where I'm going to move in the frame or what props we're going to use. So the sound people and the camera people had to work triply hard to get this done, and they never disturbed us. So we actually had the easiest job on this film.
Right. But कहीं ना कहीं as actors difficult हो जाता है कि ऐसी मूवी है लाइक समटाइम्स सपोज आप लोग को मोस्टली ऐसा रहता है कि ये स्क्रिप्ट है ये डायलॉग्स है ऐसे सब कुछ होगा बट जब कोई ऐसी मूवी होती है जहाँ पे आपको कर दिया जाए कि गो इम्प्रोवाइज आप लोग करो तो कहीं ना कहीं एक्टर्स डिफिकल्ट भी हो जाता है बिकॉज ऑफ कोर्स डायरेक्शन का एक विजन है बट आप लोग के ऊपर भी एक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी आ जाती है.
बिल्कुल नो इट्स एक्चुअली आई थिंक हम सब ने इम्प्रोव किया भी है. आई थिंक दैट्स वन ऑफ द फैक्टर्स that Karan cast us also in the film. We have done improv. We've been part of a group called Improv Comedy Mumbai. 2009 since we've been doing improv. There are some other people from that troupe who have done
Yeah.
improv who are in the film.
अच्छा.
Who he's cast in and brought in. And there's another Alek who's a producer and an actor in the film. He did improv with us for some time, to get into it. So I think with there's a little bit of getting into the idea and understanding how this process works. It's not easy to make this process work. It's not like everybody does it successfully. But at one level, I have to say, Karan trusted it entirely. Not like someone saying, "Ki chalo, let's start with improv," and then you get scared and chalo, thoda we'll try and semi-script it. Then it's the worst of both worlds.
Yeah, he followed through entirely on his promise of an improvised film.
And that really, and yeah, I am not. I was a bit daunted to begin with. I was like, even though I had done improv, well, how will this work?
Yeah.
But we did a lot of rehearsing beforehand. Before we started shooting, we rehearsed what we call pre-scenes. Like for example, we shot every scene in the film in the order in which you'll see it. Because
Right.
like in normal scripted stuff, you may do scene 12,
Yeah.
scene 48, then because you know exactly what's happening in every scene. Here you don't know what is happening, so you can't start a scene because you don't know what's happened in the preceding scene. You have to have shot it first. So we shot in that linear order, and I think as part of rehearsal to get comfortable, not just for us, but for the crew, for the camera people, for the sound, for we shot pre-scenes. So
Right.
we started with like scene -5, -4, -3. What would have happened?
Yeah.
Helped us get comfortable with it, and then we so by the time we hit the ground with scene 1, we were already in a flow.
And unlike what people think, improvisation is not कि आप खड़े होके कुछ भी कर लो.
हाँ.
हाँ? मतलब it's like playing a sport. I mean, every game is different. Therefore, every take is different in this film. But you have to know the rules of the game, and you have to learn as a team to play it together. So I think because we had people who we had all done improv together at some point, that we could pull this off. Otherwise, it would have been difficult.
Right. Of course, I would like to know कि somewhere or the other hand, when a movie like this, which has gone into film festivals and everything, लोगों के दिमाग में होता है OTT पे डाल दो. Of course, you guys are coming in cinemas, and with you guys being the face of the film, कहीं ना कहीं एक box office pressure भी feel होता है.
मुझे तो कभी बॉक्स ऑफिस प्रेशर फील नहीं हुआ. अदरवाइज आई वुडंट हैव मेड द चॉइसेस दैट आई हैव मेड इन माय करियर. आई फील एज एन एक्टर माय नर्वसनेस इज रिजर्व्ड फॉर द टाइम दैट आई एम शूटिंग और प्रिपेयरिंग. जब मैं शूटिंग का काम खत्म हो जाता है तो मुझे लगता है मैंने कर लिया जो करना था. अब इसके बाद नथिंग इज़ इन माय कंट्रोल. वो कैसे एडिट होता है, उस पर क्या साउंड डलता है, कैसे उसकी मार्केटिंग होती है, किस तरह की रिलीज़ होती है और किस तरह से उसको रिसीव किया जाएगा, इट्स सो आउट ऑफ माई कंट्रोल दैट I can't worry about it or be nervous about it. But yes, I always hope that the best thing happens to that piece of work, because there's so much love that has gone into it, and there's always a lot of attachment as an actor. Yeah, but I don't worry about it at all. I just hope that something good will happen.
Right. What about you, Mukul?
No, same. I think I'm just so happy. It's been so long, and because the lockdown came in the middle,
Yes.
and then it took him. And this kind of film, it took him a while to edit it. And it's been traveling to festivals, and every time it has, people have been saying, people have seen trailers and teasers earlier, have been asking कि हम कब देख सकते हैं, and then you've seen positive feedback from the festivals. So a lot of people have been asking कि हम कब देख पाएंगे, and I'm just happy that now there's a medium through which they can see it. So I'm very excited to have people watch it, and I hope, like she said, that as many people watch it. When you do some work, you just want it to reach as wide an audience as possible.
And I also feel like there's some films that I feel can be private experiences, and that's good.
Yeah.
But there are some which lend themselves well to a community viewing, and I feel I'm very happy that this film is releasing theatrically, क्योंकि मुझे लगता है कि इसका मज़ा और भी दुगना हो जाता है जब आप दूसरे लोगों के साथ देख रहे हो, क्योंकि dialogue is so fresh and spunky, and it's got its own sense of humor.
Right. Of course, ये जो आप एक प्राणी क्रीचर के बारे में बात कर रहे हो, पता नहीं चल रहा क्या है, एलियन है, रोबोट है, क्या है, बिकॉज वी जस्ट रिसेंटली सॉ दिस मूवी कॉल्ड तेरी बातों में ऐसा हो जाए, व्हिच वाज अबाउट अ रोबोट बीइंग देयर, एंड मूवी रियली रिसीव्ड वेरी मिक्स्ड रिएक्शंस. लोगों को लगा क्या, हाउ कैन दिस बी पॉसिबल एंड ऑल दोस थिंग्स. तो ऑफ कोर्स एज आई सेड, आई डोंट नो व्हाट एग्जैक्टली दिस क्रीचर इज, बट जब आपकी भी ऐसी मूवी आ रही, डू यू फील थोड़ा वो, बिकॉज व्हेन इट कम्स टू रिव्यूज एंड क्रिटिक्स, आप दोनों फेवरेट रहे हो, ठीक है. आई डोंट थिंक आई हैव एवर रेड अ नेगेटिव रिव्यू अबाउट यू गाइस और एनी प्रोजेक्ट दैट यू गाइस हैव डन. सो वो भी कहीं लगता है कि यार एक काइंड ऑफ एक्सपेरिमेंटेशन भी कुछ कर रहे हैं हम लोग, तो कैसे लोग लाइक क्रिटिक्स हो या लोग वो कैसे एक्सेप्ट करेंगे उसको?
I don't know. It's actually very clear. I wouldn't, like you asked, is it a robot? Is it an
Yeah.
alien? There isn't an explanation for it because it's not meant to be from the real world in that sense.
Okay.
It's meant to be, and जैसे magical realism में you have a fantastical creature that has its own rules. And that's described. This is separate thing. It's you can't put it in a whole कि ये
Yeah.
Saturn से alien आया है या ये robot है या इसका कोई scientific explanation उसकी जरूरत भी नहीं है. It's just this is the real world is functioning in its regular rules. There's one rule that changes for one creature, and
Okay.
now it's also a good medium when you use that. It's actually a story about this couple and the story about the real world.
Yeah.
But you're using that as a mechanism to tell this story. And I think sometimes that's a clever device, and Karan's done it very effectively.
And I'm actually very curious कि audience क्या लेके जाएगी इस प्राणी के बारे में कि वो क्या इसको कौन से ब्रैकेट में डालने की कोशिश करेंगे या नहीं करेंगे. So it's quite interesting to see the responses that people have after watching the film.
राइट. तो जैसे मैंने कहा कि क्रिटिक्स एंड ऑडियंस स्पेशली जो आपको हमने ओटीटीज पे मूवीज वगैरह और वेब सीरीज में देखा है, एक एक्सपेक्टेशंस हो जाता है आप लोग से कि ये लोग होंगे तो भाई प्रोजेक्ट अच्छा ही निकलेगा. तो वो जब आप कहीं नया प्रोजेक्ट साइन करने जाते हैं तो कहीं वो वाला प्रेशर फील होता है कि यार अब ऑडियंस सोच रही होगी कि ये मैं कर रहा हूँ या मैं कर रही हूँ तो अच्छा ही निकलेगा.
मतलब कहीं बैक ऑफ द माइंड में शायद रहे ये बात, लेकिन जब आप किसी प्रोजेक्ट पे साइन करने जा रहे हो इतनी सारी दूसरी चीज़ें होती है कि अगर मुझे कुछ अच्छा लगा तो मैं इतनी एक्साइटेड हो जाती हूँ उसके बारे में, या फ्रॉम अ परफॉर्मेंस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू अगर कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग लगा कि बाकी सब कुछ बहुत ही बैकग्राउंड में चला जाता है. सो दैट्स नेवर वन ऑफ माई क्राइटेरिया फॉर सिलेक्टिंग समथिंग. Is there a slight nervousness about it? Sometimes, but not really in a way that it bothers me or affects my decision making at all. क्योंकि there are so many things to decide while taking on a project. You know who's directing it, who are your co-actors, and you really want to work with a team who is, which is a special collaboration. So and अगर कोई project करना हो और interesting performance है, then तो मैं सब कुछ भूल जाती हूँ and I end up saying yes very quickly.
What about you? Do you feel that?
No, similar. I think कि ये सब. In fact, I remember this question I got a lot जब मैंने office का role किया.
Yeah.
And a lot of people said, how did you have the guts to do something getting into Steve Carell's shoes? और honestly मैंने उसके बारे में सोचा भी नहीं. To me, it was just such a great character to play and such a great opportunity that ये तो मैंने सोचा भी नहीं कि what are these shoes to fill, what are these examples, what are this. It's just about it's a great character, and if you get an opportunity, आप ना कैसे बोल सकते हो?
करेक्ट. ऑफ कोर्स बिफोर आई रैप अप, आई नो मैं ज्यादा ये नहीं पूछूंगा कि बीना को कैसे बनाया. मैंने देखा बहुत इंटरव्यू में वही चल रहा था. मैं सिर्फ इतना जानना चाहता हूँ 3.5 साल हो गए वेट करते करते, मेरे बाल भी सफेद होने आए. अब तो बता दो कब आ रहा है मिर्जापुर सीजन 3?
बहुत जल्द आ रहा है.
But can we expect this year? I mean, मैं ना पिछले 2-3 साल जिससे बात करो जाए लेकिन नहीं, ये साल तो पक्का आ जाएगा, ये साल तो पक्का आ जाएगा.
ये लेकिन इस साल पक्का आ रहा है.
अच्छा, ओके.
ये तो मुझे भी पता है, ये Amazon वालों ने भी कहा है. इसलिए मैं इतनी सर्टेनिटी के साथ कह रही हूँ. But yeah, and it'll be worth the wait.
Right. So it was really nice chatting with you all. All the best for the film, and thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much. Thank you.